Hello and welcome to another episode of Unstuck with Hypnopunk Transformation with Edge. This is podcast 13. Thank you all for continuing your beautiful feedback, leaving us those lovely 5-star reviews on iTunes. It's very much appreciated. Also your feedback on future topics that you'd like to hear and sharing the message out there. As always, disclaimer is it's in iTunes, and I tell you, sometimes I'm going to use some colourful language because I am a passionate guy. So you've got any kids in the car, anyone underage, you might want to listen to this a little bit later on. So today's subject is actually twofold. It's victimization versus self-belief. We're going to cover both of them today, and by we I mean me. So everyone I've ever seen, every client in almost 21 years now, being a transformational agent, an agent of change, a hypnotist if you will, they all had the same problem, whether it was the smoker, whether it was the person who wanted to lose weight and they couldn't, whether it was the addict, the alcoholic, the drug addict, whether it was the person who was traumatized, the person with PTSD, whatever the problem that you could throw at, they all did one thing. They victimized themselves. They either victimized themselves or they allowed other people to victimize them. And it always starts with yourself. So you always victimize yourself before you ever allow anyone else to do it. So you're always the fault, by the way. So you can't get off there. What's victimization? It's the one thing that will weaken you, that will strip your value, strip your self-esteem down to its core. It's the one thing that will just devalue on every conceivable level. Well, what is victimization? It is an example. I'm a loser. It'll never work. My life is so tough. I'm not enough. I didn't sign up for this. Oh, help me. Oh, somebody give me something. Somebody fix me with the magic wand. The world is a horrible place, and it just keeps treating me bad. Men treat me bad. Women treat me bad. My employers treat me bad. My employees treat me bad. Food just jumps into my mouth and makes me fat. It's not my fault. It just is so delicious. And I keep gambling away all my money because I'm addicted to it. I have no responsibility. Shut up. You do have responsibility. Stop fucking victimizing yourself. It all starts between your ears. You did it, and now you allow other people to do it. Stop it. It's the root. It's the evil of every single problem I've ever seen in every single client and myself, is that victimization. It's a way to basically allow yourself to become a bitch of your unconscious mind, a bitch of the world, where you get to be treated any way poorly that you want. You treat yourself like shit. You say you're shit. You say mean things to yourself. You're victimizing yourself. You allow other people to say, to do, to treat you in a certain way. You don't stand up to them because you can't even stand up to that big monster inside your head. You're allowing it. You're allowing the world, but more importantly, more disgustingly, you're allowing yourself to bully yourself, to victimize yourself. So guess what? Man up or woman up and be the hero of your story. You see, in Hollywood, in all fictional writing, there's a thing called the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is, every movie is based on this, from The Seventh Samurai to Star Wars to Rocky. Any movie, whether it's an action movie or a love story, whether it's a Disney movie, it doesn't matter. It's all built on the hero's story. And the hero's story goes a bit like this, and I'm going to butcher it now, but you can get the information online. It's the monolith for every story out there, pretty much. And it's, somebody starts off with a goal in mind, and then life beats them down. Beats them down, and then suddenly they get passionate, they get clear about what they do, and they start to make a bit of a comeback. They know what they're doing, they know what they're really here to do in life, and then, they're passionate, it's great, and then suddenly life beats them up again, brings them to their knees, beats them up, kicks them, punches them, beats them up, says bad things over and over and over and over and over again until it becomes unbearable. Think of the movie Rocky for a prime example of this, where you're just kind of screaming, when's this guy going to get a break? When's this guy going to stand up to those people being mean to him? When's this guy going to get a break? When's this guy going to take an opportunity? When's the guy going to turn something into an opportunity? Until finally Finally he does, and he's one-on-one with the heavyweight champion, the mythical heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed. And they go back and forth, and the whole boxing match is boxing fight is written like this as well, where he's beaten up, but then he makes a comeback, and he's beaten up some more, then he comes back, and the story finishes happily ever after, even if it was a draw. These are the structure of every story in life, but we've got the hero's journey that's going on in each and every one of our lives. It's a monolith, if you will. But some of us, we stay at that point where we stay victimized. We stay getting beaten up by the world, beaten up by ourselves, becoming the bitch of the world, the bitch of ourselves, till we're literally on our knees. And we never get to that point, that realization where we just stand up and say, no more, I'm done, I quit, I'm finished, or I'm starting something new. Now's the day. And we follow through, and we start to build up, climb that ladder to get to that success. Because there's always another thing that's going to stop you, isn't there? Well, I tried to quit smoking, but I was addicted to it. I tried to lose weight, but yeah, just exercise is not for me, and food's just delicious. I really tried to get over that trauma in my life, but I just realised I'm always going to have this trauma in my life. There's nothing going to be done. Stop fucking victimising yourself. If you learn anything from any of my words, from anything that you do, you don't have to even spend any money on me. This podcast is free, or another self-help program, or even Oprah, God forbid. Just stop fucking victimizing yourself, realizing you have every opportunity to make this work, to turn it around. Stop disempowering yourself. Stop being your own bitch, and stop allowing the world to treat you like a bitch. Whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, stop it. Because guess what? You're always going to find reasons and excuses of why you're trapped, of why you're stuck, of why A, B or C didn't work, of why you're a loser, of why it's everybody else's fault, that you haven't been given the same opportunity as everyone else in life, that everyone should realise how amazing and how special you are, even though you haven't demonstrated those skills. Just stop it. Stop the bullshit. Stop the victimization of yourself. Realizing the only way you feel shitty is because you allow yourself to feel shitty, and you don't do anything to dig yourself out of that hole. And yeah, you may have triggers by events and past situations that have happened in the world. I get that. We all have feelings. We all get our ego hurt a little bit. We get butt hurt from time to time. But at some point, you've got to be like, enough's enough. I'm sick of feeling this way. I'm sick of doing this behavior. I'm just done with it. I'm just fucking done. Give me a new set of problems. I'm done with this. And start standing up to yourself. Stop victimizing yourself. Stop disempowering yourself. Stop yourself from doing it. And guess what? Almost like a mirror, almost automatically the world will start to treat you better. The world will start to interact you on the level of which you interact with yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep and there's no one else around other than you and that monkey on your back. The world will start to reflect back to you. Will the world treat you perfectly? I'm not saying that. Life is a work in progress. You're going to keep working on it until the day that you die. But keep working on it. Unvictimize yourself. Unstick yourself. The very purpose of this program is to become unstuck. Because every person I ever saw that had a problem that came to me, myself included, is because at some level they were stuck. They didn't know how to take the next level. They didn't know. They weren't willing to let go of the past and embrace their future. They were not willing to do the work, to have the level of commitment, to do the things that needed to be done so you can have the life that you want to lead. Guess what? You're going to pay. And you're going to either pay by not fixing yourself, by not becoming unstuck. You're going to pay with your emotions and with the quality of the life, your life, for the rest of your life. Or you're going to pay by doing some hard graft now, by putting your hands up when life's throwing those fists at you, by covering up, taking those blows and continuing to step forward, realising you're on the hero's journey. You're going to pay one way or another. And as the great Eric Thompson will say, you're already in pain, you're already crying, you may as well get a reward from your pain. You may as well get a reward from your crying. You're already hurt, you're already beaten up. Stick with it, muscle through, get a reward from it. Because if you quit on yourself, you allow yourself to be victimized. then you've got in for a whole life full of suffering, because you won't be at the level that you wish that you could be, and have the emotional juice that you want in your life. No, I don't mean that kind of juice, you know what I mean. What's the antidote then, Luke? You're telling us about stop victimizing ourselves. Yeah. That's a lot of why. That's a lot of how. How do we stop? Easy, my friends. It's tattooed on my arm. I took it from my favourite wrestler of all time, the Ultimate Warrior. It's a phrase that I often sign off these podcasts, my emails, my correspondence to people. Always believe. Believe in me? No, I don't care if you believe in me or not. Believe in God? You can believe in God if you want. I don't care. Or whoever your religious dignity is or isn't. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about believing in yourself. About that internal compass inside. I'm not talking about confidence, because confidence is situational based. Oh, I'm really confident when I'm around my friends at work, but I'm not confident in front of my boss. I'm really confident playing my video game at home, but I'm not confident in talking to an attractive member of the opposite sex. Or I'm really confident in doing this magic trick or hypnosis in front of my family, but I wouldn't be confident in doing them in front of a complete stranger who might judge me. That's what confidence is. Situational based. It's emotional based. You could be confident in one area and feel like a complete shitbag in another area. No, it's not that. It's beyond that. Self-esteem. Yeah, self-esteem is great. Self-esteem is great, and I used to often use the term that self-esteem is that contract that we have with ourselves. It's that agreement we have with ourselves. It's the reputation we have with ourselves. Self-esteem is like that rich background. If you have a computer, it's like that background of the computer that no matter what's happening, no matter you're surfing on the web, doing what you're doing, looking at those websites you shouldn't be looking at, yet in the background is always that rich screensaver that will always be there. Self-esteem is not about being unrealistic and saying, oh, the world is perfect all of the time and I only have beautiful flowers in my garden and there are no weeds, to quote Tony Robbins. No, it's about saying, all right, my life's a bit tough right now. I don't have everything I want. I don't look the way that I want to look 100%. I don't act the way I want to act 100%. I'm not feeling all the things I want to feel 100%. Yeah, I know I'll find a way through this. I'll find a way to get to that elusive level. I'll find a way to be better, to do better. Even though I may be in some darkness right now and some challenging times, I know deep down in my core, I will find a way to overcome this. And you know how I know? Because I've been here X amount of years and I'm still around and I've always found a way. And although that way does not come and strike me at this particular moment, in this particular time, I know it will find me at some point. That's what self-esteem is. But for me, I like to take it another step further, about self-belief. Self-belief, again, about believing in yourself, that you have the ability to do whatever you want, to be whoever you want, to have the life that you want to lead. Yes, your life will be challenged. Yes, there will be dark times. Yes. But you have everything within you to be a perfect, total success in your life. I don't care who told you the opposite. I don't care how many thousands of times you've called yourself a shitbag inside your head. I'm telling you right now, you can do it. When you choose to stop taking that same amount of energy to victimize yourself and put that same amount of energy into developing something, even yourself, even though it may be uncomfortable right now, even though you don't have the blueprint, you just got to take that step forward. That's what always believe is to me. That's why I sign my emails always believe. That's why it's tattooed on my arm, to make you believe in you. And yeah, I could talk myself out of having any clients after you listen to this particular podcast. But you know what? I don't care. Because I have this belief that if everyone was operating with this amount of self-belief that I have, this amount of self-belief that you deserve, if you get out of your own fucking way and stop being a bitch to the world and to your own mind and your own problems, you'd have the kind of life that you'd lead. Would stop killing one another, raping one another, stealing from one another, hurting one another, and would all kind of live in the nirvana that we deserve out there. If we just get out of our own way. So I'm often asked, what does always believe mean, Luke? And what it means is you have within you the unique potential, something unique within you to do whatever you set your mind to and the actions to do. In some wonderful, one-of-a-kind kind of way, you are unlike anybody else. All of us as human beings here on the planet, all of us are so alike in so many ways, but yet in each of us lies our own life story. Your story is your story, not anyone else's. You were created with a singular, unique soul print to do something creative like no other human being who has lived or will ever live. What that thing is your only thing that you need to do in life. What that thing is that only you can do, that only you have that unlimited potential. However, because that thing is yours to do and no one else's, no one else can discover it for you. Only you can do it. You can find it by believing that it does indeed lie within you. It's not that you have to know right now exactly what your unique creative thing is that you have the potential to do. What matters is that you believe with all that you are that it lies inside of you. That's where it all starts. Nothing matters more than always believing in your potential to hold on to do something that no one else can, and the potential that you have to think and act to bring that thing to life. It's about resetting your soul's compass so that you're in pursuit of your destiny. That's what always believe means. I took it from my favourite wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior, who passed away a couple of years ago. Because see, he was the person who taught me in some way, some form or fashion about self-belief. Before I heard of Tony Robbins and the Richard Bandlers and the Oprahs and whoever the flavour of the month now is. Before I was even into superheroes, I was into wrestlers. And there was this guy that would run down to the ring with crazy long hair, face paint, muscles, tattoos on his arms. He looked amazing. He looked like a real life superhero. He was my real life superhero. He'd shake these ropes. He'd pick up men above his head all the way through a gorilla press slam. And he'd drop them in the middle of the ring. He was the first guy to cleanly beat the immortal Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan didn't like to lose, right here in a Toronto, formerly known Sky Dome. And Warrior was always a different cat. He was judged by a lot of other wrestlers as being elusive, as being a bit arrogant, being different from the other boys in the way that he interacted with the world. And it wasn't a form of arrogance. It wasn't a form of being elusive for being elusive's sake. It was that he had this belief, he had this destiny within inside himself that was stronger than all the voices out there that he heard, all the noise that he heard out there. That one single voice inside his head was louder, that he needed to do something unique, to touch people in his own unique way. That's how I learned about self-belief. And that's what, in some form or fashion, imprinted into me as self-belief principles. You know what? To quote Sylvester Stallone in the classic Driven, I don't have a lot of things, but I have two things. I have will and I have faith. And I believe you can will yourself into doing anything. And faith's like a good disease. And if you believe in it long enough, it starts to manifest in your life, in your mind. Self-belief. The highest level of change. To summarize today, stop being a fucking victim. Stop being a bitch to yourself. Stop letting the world treat you like a bitch. Okay? All those things that you feel you're not good enough, you are good enough right now. Can you be better? Sure. But you're good enough right now. That voice that tells you all that shit is wrong. Stop fucking listening to it. Stop making it your reality. Stop victimizing yourself. It's the root of every single problem that you can imagine, from the A to the Z. Confidence, people want confidence. It's situational based. You have confidence in this area, but not in this area. Confidence is fleeting. Self-esteem, higher level. Self-esteem is that higher level of believing in yourself. It's that rich tapestry of a background that you have. No matter how life's treating you, you know you'll get through it. And you'll get through it with elegance. It's that reputation you have with yourself. But that's self-belief. That's self-belief. Not believing in me. Not believing in the guru of the month. The god or goddess that's out there. You can do that if you want. Don't want a bunch of religious fanatics writing me hate mail. But it's simply about believing in yourself, that you are enough, that you are unique, that as you have a thumbprint, you have a soul print, and you can do anything. And it starts between your ears. It all starts there. That's how you can change your life. And if you truly implement, if you truly have listened to the words that I've given you today, you don't need another book on self-development. You don't need another therapy session. You can change your life. And you can be everything you ever dreamed of. Always believe. Guys, as always, if you've enjoyed the show, please tell your friends about it. Tell your family about it. People that you think could benefit from it. Okay? Do these shows for free here for you. And all I ask is if you enjoy it, you spread the word. And you go on over to iTunes and you give me a 5-star review. It gives me motivation and inspiration to do more of these for you, to help you for free. And also, if you do that, if you give me a 5-star review over there on the old iTunes, and you send me an email at mal@lukenosis.com, the email address is probably underneath this podcast where you're watching it, mal, M-A-I-L, at luke, LUKENOSIS.com, mail@lukenosis.com. You leave me a review, then you send me a message, an email, to let me know that you've left me a review. Then you can have a 30-minute power session with me, free of charge, where we can help to defrag your mind, unstick your mind, and dump that cookie tray of your head-top computer to help you to release those things that have been holding you back in some form or fashion, so you can step ahead and channel that inner compass to get to the next level. Free of charge. All you've got to do is email me after you've given me the 5-star review over there on iTunes. And as always, I can't say it enough, it's tattooed on my arm right here, and every email that I send to you, and at the end of all of these podcasts, always believe.